L237, lesson 294, what is healing and resilience? Pages 796 and 97. This is the Sovereign Light, named after my ministry and my book. This is a course in metaphysical spirituality. Welcome. My name is Reverend Maria Arvanitidis, and this is an audiovisual version of my book. I'm so glad that you can join me here today. And so, whenever you're ready, let's just take a few deep breaths in. And out. And just release it. Release all the toxicity that we've gathered throughout perhaps even last night and still lingering in our ethers. And just take another deep breath in. And out. And just focus on your breathing, because when we do that, we come back to ourselves. We come back to our center, most still point from within. Feel the stillness. What is stillness? Be still. That peaceful place that is stillness. And ground and center. Just feel it. You can use your hands like I'm doing. And this will help you center right to your heart space. Congregate. Find that inner stillness. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Just vibrate it out. Again, concentrating on the soles of your feet. Right here, and about size of a quarter, I suppose a coin, and just with every breath, feel it expanding to the size of a golf ball, tennis ball, and opening up. And just kind of visualize these roots growing right into the ground. Take another deep breath in and out. And then from there, if you're sitting down, if you're in a lotus position, which you probably aren't, even in a, just find a comfortable position where you can just let loose, relax, and let go, release. And focus on your breathing. Focus your chi, on your prana, on your, every time you breathe, you get that light, your sovereign beingness. Own it. Step into it. And as you breathe, connect to from your soles of your feet all the way down to the earth's core center, right down to where the trees are able to communicate in this thing called the underworld. Right down all the way to nature's crystals that we find so precious, that they hold imprinted memory and hold a frequency. And here we go again.
Hello, hello, hello. So I might just slow it down. And so take another deep breath in and out. Feel the connection. Feel the empowerment. Feel yourself coming home to yourself. And take another deep breath in. And as we mentioned before, let's do this. Create the two torus, create the two worlds, the inner and the outer, by breathing from the soles of our feet, from Mother Gaia Nature, as below, and so above, the ethers, Father, God, as you wish, as you may. However you're connected to your higher self, your beingness, that sliver of consciousness that is your spirit. We are expanding it into a multiverse. And with that said, from your heart space center, we can find that bridge to our higher mind and integrate the ego mind that's more of a childlike, hurt, traumatized victim, that dark night of the soul that we find, the emptiness within the abyss, that darkness, that loneliness that we feel, that we have to grasp from the outside and chase the mirrors, that the currency we feel is money, does it own us or do we own it? What world are we living in? Feel it. Use your discernment to feel. How does it feel? What are those thoughts that are making you feel this way? Are there any? And what's the next thought? Let it go. So with that said, let's open up and commence. And I will start to read. The heart. The heart's field is directly involved with intuitive perception. And with it, to another energetic information field. Outside the bonds of space and time. So let's just go deep within the pain, restore the place behind that, what it is and that the self resists to know. From this experience, the feeling of entrapment and unyielding change, feel the energy of its resistance to be loved. Restore its circulation with happiness, that it may revitalize back into atonement with sovereign light. So my experience now was, well, I also do counseling, but what we're going through right now, this anxiety, this unknown potential that might bring us into the past to revisit from a different perspective, from a more mature level perhaps, from a grown from all the experiences molded and carved. And it brings us back to perhaps even the middle 80s I was brought back to. But, you know, it's my experience when I used to watch my mom, after she lost her brother, and then she lost her mother, and then she well, she was doing 12-hour shifts in the factory, right? She couldn't speak English. I was, trying to learn how to speak English in a new world, right? And it must have been horrifying, just like going to school for the first time and not knowing anyone, but you find your tribe, the people that then came from the same country from before, foreigners, right? And with all that accumulated, she would feel anxiety. She couldn't sleep. She would get, the trauma, the nightmares, like she couldn't sleep and she had to go to work the next day. And this money thing, does it own you or do you own it? Are you in its world or is it in yours? And what it creates and kind of gives us no other option but the illusion that we have no choice, that we have to do it this way. And even if it goes against our well-being, our morals, our ethics, who we really are, our grain, what we came here to do. And once we start playing with it and we start making other people, we're here to help people. We're here to love people. We're here to do anything that we can when people come our way, to give them exactly what it is they need from us. As much as they need from us, as much as they can handle to accept from us, and ask for nothing in return. And walk away. Do not have that need for that emotional connection, that, those energetic hooks. So now, what are you going to do for me? And all these things. And just walk away. And if they come back and you want to engage with them freely, we engage again. And we continue. This is what it's called to be unconditionally in love and sharing that with others in your space. So, and we empower people. We show them that, yeah, it's self-generating. You're regenerating this currency. We are abundant flow. And so what happens is we don't live in that world. Rather, what we do is we see how we can get money out of people. We see how we can get so much money that they're the losers and we're the winners, that we can kind of somehow trick them into giving us money without doing the work. We give the illusion, the impression that we just cleaned a house, but we didn't really. We cut corners, we kind of cheated, we just kind of overdid the surface, but we didn't really do the foundation or the depth, and even when you build a house. And so this is why we end up all having to flip houses and flip houses and flip houses, because of all these idiosyncrasies where people haven't done the proper work. And then we do as much as we can, but then we don't get the value back on the return that we purchased, so we just kind of stop it there and try to cut our losses, whatever, and sell it again to the next person who can somehow increase the value, and the next person who can increase the value, and as it goes on until the house is properly or the property is built. And then we have this hatred towards each other. So, and this insecurities and jealousies and all these things that come within that world. And why is that? So, where does it start from? Does the money own us, or do we own the money? What is money? Is this currency? Are we not of our own self-sustainability? Were we born with everybody else that came out of the same womb? Do we die all at the same time? So, are we relying on someone else to breathe for us? Do we parasympathetic and sympathetic systems within us. We think we are in control of things, but only through the breath can we manage. And how we do it is by letting go of this need to control. And it feels so good to breathe. But when we do wrong, and we wrong others, and we know that we're doing something wrong to someone else, and we think that we're pulling in on someone else and taking them for stupid or blind or trying to distract them so that we can take something from them, and you know, we see something we like and we take it from them, and like little children in a playground, like threaten, hey, I want your lunch money, or you got to do this now. That's not the world we want to be in, because that's the world that will create the anxiety, will create the fear, will create the unrest, that you will not sleep at night, will create the disease, the illness, will create the suicide, your death. So my thing here is to see how we can become more redeemable. Reverse. Is it reversible? Yes, we all have hope. Just as long as we're breathing, we have hope. We've come here to learn and how to relearn. And with that said, I just don't want this to be going off on a rant, but rather planting the seeds in a way that we just kind of made a point to start from there and see where it goes. What world do you want to be in? What world do you want to live in? Obviously, the one that feels good, the one that keeps your heart space open, the one that you feel you are in love in, radiating your true authenticity, vibrating that energetic imprint, signature of who you are, and giving it freely as you do with breathing in and out to others without asking for anything in return, without looking to see how you can pull one over on them, to see what you can take from them, to see how you can, I think what it is, now here's what this is called: energy vampires. Or is it psychic vampires? I think I called them energy vampires. They fake it. They put on a mask, and they perform a, you know, they get to know you, and then they make like they know you, and then they make like they have the same similarities, and then they play you, and then they say, oh, we love you, and all this affection, and then, you know, it's like, I'm thinking, how is this not prostitution? But anyway, this is how people play other people. This is how people get jobs. This is how people get in. They say fake it till you make it, but to the extremes. What really is it? And are they really happy until they make it? And are they strong enough to make themselves that small and try and fit in somewhere where they do not belong? Inauthentically living out their life. So what? So then they become addicted, codependent. So I just give you money out of charity, feeling good about myself, or maybe because I felt I owed something to my mother, and it made me feel good to give you this money. And then the next day you ask for more. And again, is this not being taken for granted? I better not give any examples, but if you're watching this, you might get upset. But yes, it's good to trigger somebody, to acknowledge, to accept and own it, and see how you can work with it and improve and upgrade. This is the path, the journey to pristine human 1 point, whatever you want to call it. And it's not from the digital enslavement where we're going to entrap you and put you in there. But yes, this is how we get tempted. We get lured in, because why? Because we're not happy with just being with ourselves, and we need to find someone else. Or every time we try to do something and we get a wall, and it's like, nope, that's not for you, and nope, and then we just keep going, right? And so, how's it changed us? How's it made us? Did it break us? Did it make us? Did it entrap us? See, the quicker they say, oh, break free from it. And it's like, okay. So anyway, it's up to us. And what have we learned? And when we feel like we've learned something, then we move on, right? And so wherever this is going, we must continue again. Let's continue reading. And with that said, I'd like to bring in this affirmation, this activation, this theme for today. So whenever you're ready, take a nice deep breath in and out. When my heart is open, I feel the elevation of my life force, synchronistically connected and dancing with the universe of my awareness. When my heart is open, I feel the elevation of my life force, synchronistically connected and dancing with the universe of my awareness. When my heart is open, I feel the elevation of my life force, synchronistically connected and dancing with the universe of my awareness. When my heart is open, I feel the elevation of my life force, synchronistically connected and dancing with the universe of my awareness. Today, practice playing in this place of being aware, and become once more the observer. What is floating around in the staleness of thoughts? And how does it feel to enter in that space? Take the moment throughout the day when the vibration finds the self in doubt and or to such degree of uneasiness that it no longer feels well, and not understanding where these feelings came from. By releasing, trapped energies from the body's field and from within is how the healing can take place. And then the resilience from these transmutations. So, how is it? How does feeling so uncertain about the trusting of the self over the past perceived reflections come to take responsibility in owning that part of itself? These systems of beliefs, are they even belonging to it? And just may very well be that they are unfixable states of static parts of its consciousness, of your consciousness. So, floating in the ethers and haunting it, haunting us, like ghosts from the past. And page 797. When my heart is open, I feel the elevation of my life force, synchronistically connected and dancing with the universe of my awareness. Page 797. Today, invite the mind to join it with its heart and nervous system. The power that is love, it too can hold memory, and in resonance with it can ignite the self into enlightenment and atonement. Decode reality from within. Feel the power of the heart and connect beyond the world of illusion. Practice mindfully to elevate the frequency and sit and ask those questions of where does this doubt come from? What is it that I'm doubting within myself, within others, within my own reality, my existence, with my interactions with others and their intentions and how they want me to engage, how I participate, and what is the exchange of my engagement, and what is the expectations of theirs, the outside world, and mine. What is the connection? Where am I feeling that need to control? Where are the doubts? Where am I giving the benefit of the doubts? Why do I need to give benefit of the doubts? So, practice mindfully to elevate the frequency and sit and ask those questions of where does this doubt come from? And when it does, ask it again. Recognize it within those parts of its soul collective that were held in place by its agreement to be there. And as a reminder, need it not be of concern, of any concern.
Instead, continue as before to work on further cleaning these receptors of the self. So, practice. And clean and clear all that hangs around a static in its field, in your field. The fields can be described as spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, and with practice. Just practice of such mindfulness, the charge will lessen. The self will no longer feed them or pay attention to in such a way as to react, and the magnetism called attraction loosens up and leaves. The primary is not that of pleasing others above the self. Stop investing in these emotions. Stop entertaining those thoughts, and the energy that drives them real will go away. The purpose is in the allowing for the energetic flow connection and directly open up to this force of its awareness into wholesomeness, the sattva, and to function from rejuvenating potential of resilience once again. And thank you so very much for joining me here today, and I will leave you with today's affirmation. When my heart is open, I feel the elevation of my life force, synchronistically connected and dancing with the universe of my awareness. So, when my heart is open, I feel the elevation of my life force, synchronistically connected and dancing with the universe of my awareness. When my heart is open, I feel the elevation of my life force, synchronistically connected and dancing with the universe of my awareness.